When you fall from the closest point to the summit into the deepest pit, what do you do? Marcus had grown up surrounded by the kitchen from a young age. It was in the kitchen, where his mother used to cook, that he took his first steps. During those years, every hour spent in the kitchen taught him something new and deepened his passion for cooking. In high school, he won first place in a cooking competition, which not only proved his talent, but also solidified his determination to pursue a career in the kitchen. The kitchen was no longer just a job for him, it had become a passion. This passion eventually made him a well-known chef in the streets. Soon after, he opened his own restaurant, quickly rising in the business world. His restaurant became famous not only for its food, but also for its creative menu and the care he showed his guests. As a successful businessman, more and more people admired him with each passing day. However, the beginning of Marcus's bright career was soon followed by the greatest tragedy of his life. One day, a terrible work accident in the kitchen turned his life upside down. He lost his right hand in the accident, which was not only a physical loss, but also a loss of his identity. Cooking in the kitchen had given him a sense of self. Losing his hand took that identity away. He lost his job, his passion, and his confidence. A long recovery process, filled with physical and psychological challenges, deeply shook Marcus. He felt he had lost his sense of worth. Once a successful man, Marcus now became a beggar struggling to survive on the streets. He had neither food to eat nor a place to stay. Despite the hardships, he tried to hold on to hope, but over time, loneliness and the emptiness inside him pushed him into a dark period. One morning, as Marcus was doing his usual routine of begging on the street, he witnessed one of the most meaningful encounters of his life. A cat approached him, looking around for food. Seeing the cat's condition, Marcus took the last of his money and bought a carton of milk from a nearby cafe. He lovingly called the cat over and offered it the milk. The cat, initially wary, quickly began drinking the milk. In that moment, Marcus began to feel the warmth and love inside him once more. The cat seemed to bring back the human connection that he had lost. He named the cat Jocks. At first, Jocks was a bit cautious, but over time, he began to trust Marcus. Every morning, Jocks would come to him, needing both his companionship and his milk. For Marcus, Jocks was not just a hungry street cat, but also a companion who helped him regain the inner peace and love he had lost. Despite the struggles, his love for Jocks reminded him that he still had something to give to the world. Spending time with Jocks every day began to slowly fill the emptiness inside him. It gave him a sense of purpose and meaning. Now, instead of the things he had lost, he was finding small but meaningful companionship. One day, a woman from the neighborhood, noticing Marcus and Jax's special bond, approached him and asked why he was always with the cat. The woman had noticed the unique connection between Marcus and Jocks and was curious. Marcus smiled and began telling her his story. He shared how he had lost his hand, his job, and how he struggled to survive on the streets, and how Jocks had become his companion during this difficult time. The woman, moved by Marcus's story, felt deeply touched. His losses, and yet his undying love, resonated with her. The woman was a popular influencer on social media and thought that Marcus's story could inspire others. At first, Marcus hesitated, but the woman insisted that his story needed to be shared. It could reach more people. Eventually, Marcus agreed. The woman began sharing his story on social media, and it quickly went viral. People started to admire Marcus for his resilience, love, and will to survive. Many reached out to offer financial help. The widespread sharing of his story on social media sparked a major transformation in Marcus's life. People from all around the world saw how he had maintained his love and humanity despite his hardships. The man who once begged on the streets just to survive now began to escape the streets with the help of others. People made donations and offered their support. Thanks to the assistance he received, Marcus was able to leave the streets behind and began to rebuild his life. He rekindled his passion for cooking, but this time, not only for himself but also with the desire to do something for street animals. With the help he received, Marcus was able to establish a home. He used his house and garden to create a shelter for street cats. He began providing food for the animals, showing them the same love he had shown Jacques. With his growing interest in helping animals, he started to consider opening a local cat shelter. He had learned valuable lessons from his past and losses. But most importantly, he had never allowed anything to take away his love, kindness, and passion. With every new step he took, his love for animals grew, and it connected him to the world in a stronger way. Marcus ultimately realized that the difficult days he spent on the streets had not only strengthened him physically, but also mentally. He had lost his hand, but one thing had not been taken from him: his love and passion. Now, every moment spent with Jacques and other street animals gave his life meaning, and that meaning had turned into a source of inspiration for others. Marcus's story became an example of how love and determination could overcome any obstacle, inspiring people to never give up, no matter what life throws at them.